Nothing but praise and respect for Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Mike Petraglia inside Paycor Stadium. Here on Wednesday, the Bengals got down to the business of beginning their on-field prep work for the Ravens on Sunday night at M&T Bank Stadium before a national television audience and a jam-packed stadium, of course, full of purple and black. The 2-2 Ravens taking on the 2-2 Bengals. The winner will be in first place in the AFC North through 5 weeks. Well, in terms of assessing the opponent, the Bengals had nothing but respect and adoration for Lamar Jackson here on Wednesday. Joe Burrow calling him one of the most unique talents there is in the National Football League, saying Lamar Jackson as a quarterback wins games that no other quarterback in the NFL can win. He said that Lamar Jackson's great for the fans, great for the league, and really somebody he appreciates watching week to week in the NFL. In terms of Lou Anarumo, Bengals defensive coordinator, said you have to be aware of Lamar Jackson at all times and be alert to the fact that he can throw the ball from any angle, and he can also, of course, as we've seen this year, through 155 yards rushing on the ground. He has more rushing yards than Joe Mixon. He can get it done with his legs as well. If you take a peek inside, he can head outside. If you go outside too far and lose gap containment, he can cut inside and really do damage. One thing the Bengals were able to do last year in beating Lamar Jackson for the only time so far in the Zach Taylor era, they were able to play with the lead and make Lamar Jackson throw second and long, third and long, and make the offense a little bit more predictable. And that's what Lou Anarumo says he hopes to achieve on Sunday night against the Ravens offense. The Ravens, of course, have had a couple of huge leads at home, one against the Miami Dolphins and one last week against the Buffalo Bills. They wound up losing both of those games, blowing the games in the fourth quarter. So the Ravens obviously will be sensitive to that if they get a lead on the Bengals. Bengals want to jump out on top early if they can and really control the tempo of the game. Of course, last year in Baltimore, Bengals won 41-17, but at halftime they were down 17-13 before the Bengals really turned it on in the third quarter and ran away from the Ravens, holding Lamar Jackson to just 257 yards rushing. He did have 88 yards rushing on just 12 carries in that game, but again, when you have the lead, you'll let Lamar Jackson do his thing running the ball as long as he doesn't have explosive plays down the field. Now, that is something the Bengals have to be very alert of, is what are they going to do in terms of defending the receivers, receivers like Rashad Bateman and Demarcus Robinson. Guys like that and Devin Duvernay, they have to be alert of where they are at all times. They can certainly break off routes and move with Lamar Jackson if a play breaks down. So that is something Chido Awuzie said the Bengals defensive backs will be aware of on Sunday night when they take on this Ravens offense. Defensively, the Bengals certainly will want to know, and Joe Burrow will want to know where their cornerbacks are at all time. Joe Burrow calling the tandem of Marcus Peters and Marlon Humphrey possibly the best cornerback tandem in the National Football League. They are ball hawks, they are aggressive, but as a whole, they're not quite as aggressive, Burrow said here on Wednesday, as they were under old defensive coordinator Wink Martindale, who is now with the New York Football Giants. So there will be some changes on Sunday night, to be sure. But again, the Bengals, from Lou Anarumo to quarterback Joe Burrow, throwing nothing but a bouquet of roses at the Ravens and their ability to make big plays both on offense and defense. Now, let's not forget about special teams. Going into this game, we have Evan McPherson for the Bengals. We have a possibly surefire Hall of Fame kicker in Justin Tucker on the other end. A little bit of news here on Wednesday regarding Evan McPherson. He was limited in practice due to a groin issue. Don't know the severity, but he did practice, just that he was limited with a groin issue when the injury report came out. But in special teams, of course, the Bengals and Ravens have two of the best field goal kickers in the National Football League. Other news here, on Wednesday. Out at practice, Lou Anarumo telling us here late on Wednesday that it was Cam Taylor-Britt in his first practice back from a core surgery, starting the 21-day window to activate him back to the active roster. Cam Taylor-Britt was the player for the Bengals who mocked or simulated, I should say, Lamar Jackson in practice, running some of the routes. Obviously, one of the faster Bengals in Cam Taylor-Britt. So it was Cam Taylor-Britt taking the role of Lamar Jackson, at least for one practice here on Wednesday. We'll see if that continues on Thursday and also Friday. Bengals health-wise, they appear to be in pretty good shape. Also limited here on Wednesday was tight end Hayden Hurst. He is also nursing a groin issue, and Jermaine Pratt as well. He is dealing with a knee issue. And T. Higgins, he was also limited in practice, but he did practice. He, of course, had that left ankle tape during Thursday night's win over the Miami Dolphins. Bengals will get back to practice here on Thursday, have red zone drills as they normally do on Friday, day off on Saturday for travel, and the Sunday night game in Baltimore at M&T Bank Stadium. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at Trags, Trags. All of our Bengal content on clnsmedia.com, and be sure to click on the link below and subscribe to the Jungle Roar podcast YouTube page. Want to hear all of your comments, good, bad, and indifferent. Inside Paycor Stadium, Mike Petraglia, CLNS Media.